Good morning, everybody. So from the fridge, I am gonna grab myself absolutely nothing this morning because today we are going to roast coffee. I'm all out of beans. Thought I'd show you guys how to roast your coffee manually using what's called the Zen Roaster. You can get these all over. I'll try to put a link in the description. But this is one of the most manual ways that you could roast green coffee beans. I'll show you guys the process of that today. So what you need, so you obviously need a home roaster or anything. I could do another video again on how to use it in a cast iron pan. I've got an electric roaster as well, but this is pretty much the basics of doing home roasting. So you'll need this. You'll need something to stir with. You'll need green beans. So the ones I'm going to be using today are from homeroastcoffee.com. Again, I'll put a link in the description for that, but these are Colombia Narino Supremo beans, and I'm going to be cooking probably about 4 ounces of these today. And lastly, you'll need something to strain with, like a strainer, so that you can aerate them and get some of the chafe out. So there's going to be a lot of chafe that's going to come out of this. When the chafe comes out, in an electric machine, there'd be a chafe collector, and that's really the skins that come off the beans. But this way there's not going to be, and I'll show you just how to do it with this machine here. But it's actually really cool because it's called the Zen Roaster, and what it looks like actually, it's essentially kind of like a pipe, but there's lots of good patina on the inside and oils from the beans, but all it is really just it's a ceramic contraption that has a leather handle, and then there's a hole on the inside, and what happens is the beans go on the inside. As they start cooking and you're circulating them, they start toasting, you start hearing the cracking, and then this hole, what you do is you can actually blow through here, and then all of the skins that are kind of floating around fly out, and that will help you kind of separate the chafe from the beans. So again, first things first, I'll put about 4 ounces of beans in there. With a 1 ounce scoop, that's 4 scoops in total. I might actually put more. I don't like to roast too much at once just because beans go stale very quickly. So that's probably good. And turn it on. So when you do this, you're definitely going to want to turn on your fan. If you have a smoke detector close to your kitchen, you're probably going to want to take that off just because there will be a lot of smoking. But the last thing that I said that you'll probably need is some kind of strainer. So for me, I use a something like this, which will just be your basic kind of strainer. The total process is probably going to take about 25 minutes using this manual method. If you have an electric roaster, you're looking at around 6 minutes. Again, I'll try to do that video again after this. But for most of you, you probably won't have a home roaster, and you may never got into getting green beans before, but this is what it looks like. So while it's just getting up to temp, I'll kind of open it up and show what it looks like. So this is what a green bean kind of looks like. Again, this is what's going to turn into the coffee. Usually there's 2 parts to it, so they kind of go together, and there's always a stem, so it would kind of look like that, if you can see that, together, and they kind of come apart. It's all part of what looks like it's a bigger cherry, and it kind of actually looks like a cherry, but the inside, what you could imagine is the cherry seed is actually the coffee bean, and there's a stem on the inside. The only time I've ever seen it not like that, where it's one piece, there's a bean called the Tanzanian pea berry, and that's just one whole bean that kind of comes out, and it's a lot smaller, about this size. But again, these ones here are single origin, so this is what we're going to be using today. And you can't really see that stuff that I was saying, that the chafe, the skin that's on it, you can't really see it. I don't know if it's coming through that well, but you can't really see it that well on here. As it starts to roast, you're going to notice the skin starting to peel off. It doesn't really change color all that much. It gets a little bit more golden, but the coffee bean itself will get really dark, and then the chafe will peel off. So if we were using an actual electric machine right now, this would already be starting to get golden, but you can already kind of see on the inside there's a little bit that's starting to change. So the one thing about manually roasting at home is you're always going to constantly be moving the item. Always, always, always. That way it's not burning. It's going to have a very much a smell like cooking popcorn. So your whole house for the first probably 10 15 minutes is gonna smell like you're toasting popcorn. And then after that, the house is really gonna smell like a coffee shop, probably for a good 16 to 20 hours. Even if you have the windows open, you'll come back the next day and you'll realize, even after a day's worth of work, your house will smell a lot like a coffee shop. So just keep moving it again, kind of just using the tossing method like you would a pan. But I also use a wooden spoon. You can see I've used it quite a bit. Funny little story about this spoon. So it's actually, it's my Kumbaya spoon. I got it as a gift from an old cook of mine. Her name was Lisa Crawford, probably one of the most talented cooks I've ever had the opportunity to work with. But she actually got me this because we had this ongoing joke where every single time we had a vegan dish in the restaurant, every single time it was ordered, all of the cooks in the kitchen would sing Kumbaya, and she would laugh because she was really the best probably cook at making vegan dishes that I've ever seen. But yeah, again, her name's Lisa Crawford, and absolutely amazing chef. Thanks for the gift here. But I've used this forever now. I've had it for years, and yeah, just absolutely love it. Does a trick. So it's starting to change color now. You're definitely going to be wanting to toss it. We've been on the flame now for about 4 minutes, I would say. The time right now is 11:15. I'm gonna fast forward the video and then come back, and that way you can kind of see just how long it takes and the method. But just make sure that if you're doing this at home, whether it's a cast iron pan or a pot, you can do it in it as well. A pot you want to put the lid on because it'll retain the heat. But once I come back, we'll look at the time, you'll see how much, and just make sure you keep stirring it and we'll see the color changes. So see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so I knew I said I was gonna come back in a few, but I'm actually coming back a little bit quicker. I'm hoping that you catch some of this on camera, but the coffee is actually going through the first cracking stage, which is one of the stages that coffee kind of goes through, and it sounds like popping popcorn. You may hear the crow cawing in the background right now in my house, which is kind of annoying, but it goes through several stages of cracks, and it's going through the first right now. And that's kind of one of the stages that you'll hear. So it's not just the smoking, it's not just the color change, but it's the actual sound of the crack that will start to tell you where you are in the stage. So I'll come back again. It's 11:18 right now. You just heard one of the big cracks there. So glad you guys can hear this. That's the first crack. So that's the first stage that you're really doing the right thing. So all right guys, so I'm back. So we are a few minutes later now. It's 11:20. You can start seeing that they're getting a lot darker. We're now hitting the second crack stage, and it's smoking quite significantly now. You can hear that. So at this point, I want to show two ways that you can start getting rid of that chafe, because you don't want it to burn. So first things first, we'll go outside, and I'll show you what it looks like kind of to get rid of it if it's the middle of the summer. And you can kind of go outside and do it. So you just kind of want to find a well-ventilated area, but if you just blow in it, you'll actually see the chafe. I don't know if you can catch that, but it starts flying in the air, and that's essentially the skins that are sitting inside there. You can see some of them right there. But I'll also show what it looks like on the inside of the house, because I have to do this throughout the winter as well. You're obviously not going to step outside, especially bare feet in the middle of the winter. So doing in the house, the strainer kind of acts two parts. So if you cover it like that and you blow through the end, you're gonna end up getting the skins not flying all over the place. So you can kind of see what happens in the sink there. The skins fall all over. But at the end of the cook process, there'll definitely be a lot more chafe to pull out. And again, I can show that again, but we're almost near the end now, so I just want to get this back onto the heat. and finish the roasting process, because you want to do it fairly quickly. So I'll come back, and again, the time right now is 11:22. All right, guys, so we're at that stage now where I think we're just about the right color and doneness. It's smoking quite heavily right now. So again, make sure that you've got your smoke detector probably off and then your windows open. But as I go to turn it off here, just make sure that you're constantly rotating it. We're gonna bring it outside again. You could do this in the house, but I'm gonna show you how these things work and kind of the multi-purpose of having the hole in the end, because it's not just about blowing air into it to get that chaff out. It's also about getting the actual beans out. So you just tilt it over like such, pour the beans in, and you'll see that they all fall out from the inside of the Zen Roaster. And there you go, roasted coffee from the home. So hopefully you guys like this. Again, if you want to see more coffee videos, more food videos, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and follow more what I'm doing, and leave comments down below and just tell me what you think or tell me what you want to see. But again, you can see kind of just showing you lastly, that's what the chaff looks like. It's just skin. I've got most of it off, but as you blow throughout, you'll see that it kind of starts to come out. So enjoy, guys.